All right, welcome back from the break. We're currently neutral on Slido questions. And so we're going to wrap up here with our last few presentations of the day. Next up, JPSS training resources available from Jorel Torres. Jorel, JPSS Satellite Liaison, working on training activities at Sierra CSU in Fort Collins, Colorado. Jorel?
All right. Well, let's start up here. So I'll just recap here of just the need for JPSS training. So we had SUMI-MPP that launched a few years back in 2011. That was where SMPP was the prototype for this upcoming JPSS satellite series 1 through 4. So we produced some training for that, and now with the recently launched J1, or NOAA 20 now, we are going to be producing some more polar orbiting training for the foreseeable future. And here's just a little, quick little animation or a little video of that launch that occurred back in November. It was actually quite funny because I attended Vandenberg Air Force Base for the first 2 attempted launches, which were unsuccessful. And then 2 days later, after I came back home to Denver, it launched successfully after I left. But
where are you going to be on March 1st?
March 1st?
Yeah.
Cape Canaveral, right? We'll see if it works out this time, yeah. So, but also to add and supplement, for all this JPSS training, it'll be beneficial for our users or NWS forecasters to utilize the satellite data in their forecasts and daily operations. It's key for our users to understand how JPSS satellite products add observational value to the forecast process, especially when it's in complement to the geostationary or GO16 data that we have now. And here's just an example of one of the training modules that are out there, or existing training modules from the Comet Med-Ed interface. And this is just this particular lesson describes the advances in the space-based nighttime visible observations, this particular second edition here. In our particular training, there's always a lot of key aspects that we would like to convey to our users about low Earth orbiting satellites or LEO satellites. First of all, they're sun synchronous, where these particular satellites are placed at a particular altitude and inclination, where every time the satellite overpasses the equator, it's approximately the same local time. Also, with these satellites, they help improve weather forecasting via simulation of observations. Well, it was two times a day with SUMI-MPP, but with J1, it'll be 4 times a day into NWP models. They also help provide global coverage over the oceans, remote areas where radar coverage or ground observations are poor and or limited. And they also provide higher spatial and spectral resolutions at the lowest spatial resolution of 375 meter spatial resolution of the, which are part of the imagery bands on the VIRS channels. And then, as I mentioned before, they provide observational value and complement to the GOES-R or GO16 data. So who are our users? We have a variety of NOAA users or the National Weather Service forecasters. We also have our non-NOAA users that come from all over, whether it be university-related users, the international community or the student community as well. And then here's just a little schematic of all the different particular entities, such as the Cooperative Institutes, ranging from them to the NOAA offices, and then also the international community as well. And then how mature are these user relationships? They're more established for the OCONUS in Alaska. But the CONUS is becoming more, well, as of right now, it's less established, but we're becoming more and more getting familiar with our CONUS users as well. So with our particular user engagement, how do we interact with our particular users? Well, we have workshops or short courses like these to help to interact with our users. We also have our satellite blogs, which I know a few of our instructors have talked about today. Also, we have quick guides as well to help supplement to our particular products that we would like users to utilize. And then with our particular workshops, as you guys noticed here, and then in previous workshops, sometimes we'll have case scenarios where we can walk through particular cases with users in conveying the particular product and its utility. And then also, we always like to welcome feedback to address product issues or how we can improve training as well. Here's just this little image here is just an example of the Sierra Visit Meteorological Interpretation blog there. And then here's just a few examples of some older quick guides of the VERS active fire that we have, and then also the VERS flood detection map quick guides as well, which kind of just describe what is the product, how is the algorithm made, what is the data latency of it, is it available in AWIPS 2 or is it not, or will it be available in AWIPS 2, and then some additional information as well. Just to highlight some of our past JPSS workshops, prior to this, there's been a whole range where we went to like OCONUS meetings where we talked about the JPSS direct broadcast workshops that we've had, gone to occasional student development courses or the science operation officers that are at the local NWSs and talked to them about JPSS and in operations. We've also done not only here at AMS, but if you've ever attended the National Weather Association or NWA meetings, we'll have workshops there. And I'm on the assumption, or I surmise, that we'll have another workshop later this year at NWA, which would be, I think this year's in St. Louis, St. Louis, Missouri, yeah. So we'll look forward to that. And then we also have this past year, we did a workshop at the NOAA Satellite Conference, which was in New York City this past year. And there's actually a little reference link to some of those prior workshops that you can peruse through. And here's just one example from the NOAA Satellite Conference that we had, our short course or workshop that we had over there. And we actually highlighted two case scenarios. One was over the Chilean wildfires that were occurring back in late 2016, early 2017. And then also we did a tropical weather example with the Hurricane Otto that affected, Costa Rica and Nicaragua countries out there back in November of, I think that was November 2016 as well. But those were the two main case scenarios that we highlighted during our particular NOAA Satellite Conference workshop. So this just gives you an example, another example of previous workshops that we've worked with. And then to the left is, as you've worked through on the web page today, I developed similar web pages to help host all the particular data, presentations, and supplemental info for all our users. Also here, I'll just quickly highlight from our Cooperative Institutes, just particular web links and resources that they have and what they offer for JPSS. So with the Comment Med website, if you're not familiar, you just go to that particular link there where you can actually, it's similar to like the NOAA class website that I let you guys go through earlier today, where you can sign up for free, and you can put in your information, and it's and what you can do is go into the search engine and type in JPSS, and then they'll give you an array of JPSS modules that have been produced and that you can go through step by step and access those modules there. Also, some resources from NASA Sport out of Huntsville. If you go to that particular link there, you can, this one you don't have to sign up or anything, you just go to that particular web link. You click on the Go to Sport Training link there, and then in the search button, what you can do is also type in JPSS as well, and they'll give you an array of JPSS modules, such as the JPSS satellite products for extratropical transition. Also, from the Sierra Visit website, we have a whole array of training sessions that we've done for polar orbiting satellites and also geostationary as well. And in this particular example, once you go to the web link there, you can actually, on the left, click on training sessions, And you can find the D&B or NCC training modules that they have there, and or new caps that we have produced there as well. And then also, lastly, from SIMS, this one highlights the direct broadcast workshops that they've done in the past, that they've done in different locations and localities. They kind of highlight different lectures and labs of polar orbiting satellite data or satellite sensors. And they also have corresponding lectures, labs. They also have particular software as well. I think I mentioned it earlier, or some of the free software that you can download to help fully ingest and display polar orbiting satellite data. And I think they have additional information there as well. We talked about NOAA class earlier, but just if people forgot, there's the web link there for NOAA class. I mentioned last time those free software packages such as McAfee and Hydra 2, so here's those particular web links there, again, just for your reference. And then also, I don't think I've mentioned this, at CIRA we've developed a few McAfee tutorials and in specific to polar orbiting satellite data. So it helps, if you click on these particular links, they'll help the users, once they get the data from NOAA class, whether it be VIIRS data, or I think it's just VIIRS data, how the users can properly go through the proper steps to ingest the data and then display it successfully in AWIPS2, or not AWIPS2, into McAfee and display it correctly. And I think we have two tutorials here, one that's on the day-night band, and then the other that just focuses on the other VIIRS channels, so the other 21 spectral channels on the VIIRS instrument. So, and then let's see here. Also, I would like to talk about the Satellite Foundational course for JPSS. So since we had J1 that just launched, we've been working, and what I mean, it's a collaborative development that is, or collaborative development efforts between NOAA Oklo and the Satellite Training Advisory Team, and then also the 4 Cooperative Institutes. So where I'm at, CIRA, SIMS, NASA Sport, and COMET. And we've been working on this particular training plan for JPSS, which will highlight 3 main overarching objectives. So the first objective is the introduction to microwave remote sensing. Second one is kind of introducing the users to the satellite constellation. The third one, highlighting basic forecast applications. And the last thing is the follow-on section that will highlight the additional SMPP or JPSS applications, which is pretty much we're going to focus on developing quick guides or 1 to 2 page documents, and or quick briefs, which are 3 to 5 minute videos on particular products for users to know how to access the data, but then also how to interpret the data, as well as it's in AWIPS2. As of right now, for this foundational course, it's approximately 3 to 4 hours in length, and it's tentative for it to be available spring of this year. And if I go to the next slide, so these 3 circles just highlight those 3 main overarching objectives, and I'll kind of go through each objective just to give you a little bit more of an idea of what we'll be producing. So that first objective that's highlighting the microwave remote sensing will consist of just training modules, which will be approximately between 10 to 20 minutes long, and that will be variable from one module to another. And for the microwave remote sensing, kind of highlights, MRS, the oxygen and water vapor absorption bands, the differences between surface emissivity between land and ocean, and other environmental features, and then also the influence of clouds and precipitation. If we go into that second main overarching objective, where we introduce the different constellations, this will kind of highlight the different orbits from these different satellites, and then also some of the primary instrumentation involved, such as the VIIRS instrument, the CRIS and ATMS instruments, and then AMSTER-2, which is on the GCOM satellites. And then also we'll have a little section on the Global Precipitation Measurement Mission Satellite, or GPM satellite, as well. And then we go into that third main overarching objective, which will highlight some of the uses of imagery Then talk about the day-night band and NCC, or the near constant contrast. Then we'll also focus on the influences of NWP, and then also the new cap soundings as well. And then, as I mentioned before, with that follow-on section, after those three main overarching objectives are done, we'll go to this section where we will be primarily producing quick guides and quick briefs and job aids as well. 1 to 2 page documentations or quick little videos on these particular products. Here's just an array of those particular products that we'll be producing these quick guides or quick briefs on. Not limited to, I didn't put them all down, but all these kind of range from ATMS mirrors imagery, TPW, you have your GPM, GMI, microwave imagery, you have a lot of products from VIRS, as we mentioned before, the DNB or NCC, volcanic ash, flood map detection, ice surface temperature, ice concentration, so on and so forth. Also what we do in the RadarSat Sentinel radar winds, NESA snowfall rate products, and then additional products that I did not put on here. And then here are just some additional training links. I'll show you here. Here's some just from new caps. Just highlight. I think this one is on our RAMB CIRA website there. There's also a YouTube video there of the use of JPSS soundings in the forecast process as well. And then there's one particular training link there for the day-night band. There's several more, but there was just one to highlight there that you can click on via comments. And then here's another array of different training links as well. I think earlier today they were talking about the river ice and flooding products earlier today, and there's actually a training module on that from Comet that they produced, I believe, last year. That's also there. These links here are not the only links. These are just here these are just a sample of some of those links here. But if you're interested in more, I can definitely send you more. And then I leave you with a list of just satellite blogs and additional resources here which kind of highlight the different interpretation blogs, the direct broadcast applications workshop, GeoNetcast blogs, and then and the Visit Satellite chat that we have at CIRA. And within that, I believe that's all I have. And I kind of went through that a little bit quickly, but if you have any additional questions, whether that be now or later, please let me know. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jorel.
Jorel, we do have a few questions on Slido, as long as there's a little
Yeah.
green time on here. Can you describe the work the NWS is doing to ensure valuable satellite training for their forecasters?
With that one, it's pretty much what we've been doing. I know with the SAT FCJ, so with the Satellite Foundational course for JPSS, to ensure good quality modules, we've learned a lot from what we've produced from the Satellite Foundational course for GOES-R, which was within the last year and a half or so. And that's just collecting all the feedback from all the forecasters and users that went through that particular training course, and took all the pros and cons and helped to modify whatever that needed to be better, such as maybe, if I remember correctly, there were some modules from the GOES-R Satellite Foundational course that were too long, kind of thing. And I know with JPSS, we've kind of truncated those modules to more of a 10 to 20 minute range, then going all the way to 30 minutes. And then also the reduction of, say, quiz questions after each of the modules. I know there was a lot of them for the GOES Satellite Foundational course. But I guess my overall point is that we've learned from the training that we've produced for GOES-R, and to help better make training for JPSS and then for other satellites on the road.
Thanks, Jorel. One other question here. Apart from AWIPS 2, what other visualization tools are available for new caps? Can
new
Mercatus
caps.
V display new
As
caps?
of right now, I know he's not in the room, but William Straka, but as of right now, I believe Mercatus V can only do the horizontal profiles in Mercatus V. Oh, sorry. yeah. The newcast profiles can only be seen in McAfee V, but McAfee V can't display the actual soundings. So, but I talked with William Straker from Sims, and I know they put in a LOI for the following next 3 years to see if we can improve that or not.
So somebody's thinking about it.
We're thinking about it.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So is my overall question.
Dan's got
or
something
answer
to
there.
add on
I
that?
was going to add,
Yeah.
there's a program called SharpEye that some people have played with, and I think that it can display the soundings.
Is that the Python?
It's a
one?
Python.
Python one. Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to emulate Sharp.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, yeah, I'll have to talk to you offline and
Yeah,
get
otherwise-
more information on that. So, yeah, the main ones I know is just that with McAfee V, you can do the horizontal ones, horizontal two-dimensional images, but besides that, you can't do any soundings.
Yeah, and
So-
there might be some commercial ones.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll have to talk to you later on that. Anything else?
All right. Thank you, Jorel.